All right, welcome to an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man, like always. So today we are going to go to San Diego, but before we get there and intro who is our special guest, just want to remind you, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then comment below with what you're learning if you're on YouTube, because this is a video podcast if you are listening it to some other platform. But today we are going to go all the way out to San Diego. Gotta love San Diego. And this individual is with EXP. He was actually on a team from an individual that was on our episode previously, and now he's independent. So I'm super excited to have him on the show today. Today we have Jared from San Diego. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it being here.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. And so, the show's about you. So we want to deep dive into your business, and, we'll start off from like, why real estate and how long you've been in the industry, man?
Okay. Yeah. So I've been in the industry a year and a half now. So okay. From the time I got my license until today has been about a year and a half. And I was in the Navy for 9 years. And okay. So I've never knew anybody in real estate. I have no connections to real estate whatsoever. But wow. since I was 18, I always knew that real estate was in my future. I didn't know how, why, when, or however that would be. Like, I tried to get my license when I was in the Navy, like in Denver, but it just didn't follow through just because it didn't make any sense at all. It was, I went for it. I tried, I just never took my license exam, but I knew it was coming. And then as soon as I got out of the Navy, COVID happened, and I was like, okay, I need to take advantage of this time. And here I am. And it's been wonderful ever since.
That's awesome. So were you based in San Diego, or how did you end up residing in San Diego?
Yeah. So I grew up in Wisconsin, and I always knew California. That was another thing. I've never been to California. First time I saw the ocean was when I was 19. Wow. And that was in Florida when we went to A school for the Navy to do special training. And then I got top of my class because the top 3 of your class, you're able to pick your orders. And I'm like, I'm going to San Diego. I need to be there. And so I had no idea why, but it called me and I answered.
Wow. Talk about like being top ranking and having some value right there. You're like, all right, well, if I got to pick where I want to go, like
place in the United States.
Yeah. That's awesome. And for anyone who is listening, San Diego is absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend anyone to check out San Diego, because it's just phenomenal. Okay. So, right. Yeah. So a year and a half, that's crazy. So a year and a half. I know before we got on air, you talked about kind of your first year and successes, which will be my next question. And then just a year and a half, now you're on your own. So man, congratulations. So
thank you.
For the viewers and listeners, because they weren't behind the scenes with us. So first year, how many transactions? What does that look like for you?
So I was very fortunate to close 21 homes in my first year.
Wow.
And it was my business has been based around self-generation. Okay. That was, I think, out of the leads that I was able to be provided from the team that I was on, I closed about 5 of those leads that came through realtor.com or whatever. But I was fortunate and blessed enough to really have come from the bar industry as well. So when I got out of the Navy, I worked in the gay bars in Hillcrest.
Nice.
So that was fun. So I know a lot of people there. And so I generated basically 75% or more, all self-generation leads of my sphere.
Wow.
And
that's amazing. That's amazing. So it sounds like for the viewers and listeners out there, it's just, almost like find your tribe, go out there, network, meet people, be your true authentic self, and not really expect anything. And then it sounds like you've just seen the success from just going out, having a good time and working.
And I don't drink anymore either. So it's like, I'm not even really in the bar. It's just the people, like, understanding the fact that people always are watching you regardless. And, you know, the impressions that you make on them are huge, whether or not you know that they're watching you or thinking of you in that regard. But as soon as, you know, I made the good impressions when I was working at the bars and I was doing these things, and, you know, people tended to be gravitated towards me. And then so and one of the things that Mark said too, and one of the things that I've always stuck with was don't be a secret agent. You know, so I had no problem. I had no problem whatsoever of telling anybody and everybody that I'm in real estate. Let me sell your house. Let me help you buy a house. I'm here. Like, I have no shame when it comes to that. And clearly in my numbers, it shows.
Wow. I love that. And it's fitting because right behind you, it says, be nice to people.
Yes. It says here, it says work hard and be nice to people.
Oh, yeah. Even better.
Yes. And so that's my slogan, my catchphrase. It's work hard, be nice to people. That's all it takes to be successful.
Wow, man. I love it because it's just simple. You just keep it simple. I feel like, you know, whoever's out there listening right now, sometimes people just overcomplicate and maybe make things more complicated than they need to. Just like getting in front of like a camera or filming videos or whatever. It's like, oh, you have to have the professional this and that. No, just do it. Just grab your phone. You know, like if you don't already know, like the camera in your iPhone is Sony. So Sony's a great camera, you know, company. So
and like this little ring light that I have right here, it's like $30 at Target, you know, and it makes the world of a difference.
I love that. Yeah. So true. So true. It's simple and easy. So I think the last question, I'll ask a couple last questions and then we'll go off to Dan for the mix-up round. So then what are your goals? What are your aspirations? Now you're on your own, you know, you had that success. Where do you see yourself there in the next 12 months?
So, I mean, next 12 months, I mean, I definitely want to try and double my first year.
Nice.
I think that's a great goal and I'm well on my way. I just got into escrow on a property, and I guess my goal is to not limit myself to anything, right? So one of the properties that I just got into escrow on yesterday is 2.3 million in Santa Monica. So Santa Monica, California, not Santa Monica Beach or anything like that over here in San Diego. So not limiting yourself and being open and willing to receive anything that kind of comes your way. And so having that mentality is something that I want to keep for this year, and to not be afraid of anything as well. Like just say yes, do it, figure it out later. And
I love it.
And, you know, because that's how, because even when I was on the team, I was very much doing I call it just doing Jared, you know, whatever Jared does. And, you know, so it's like, it's brought me success. It's brought me friendships. It's brought me clients. It's brought me so many great things in life, and not being afraid to just network yourself. And so like, I want to be able to continue to just expand my tribe, really understand what I'm doing and what I'm helping people do. Like, I'm like, when you are able to kind of hone in on what a realtor actually does, brokering deals between people, you're not just here to sell a house, you're here to create this entire world for someone. And then you're taking that, and you're that seller side, if you're representing the buy side, you're doing that as well for the seller. And, you know, you're creating, because of you, all of these things are happening, changing, moving the lender side from the lender to the clients, to the other realtor, to the inspector, to just really understanding how deep your job goes. And so my goal is just to be the best that I can possibly be this year, and to help as many people as I possibly can.
I love it. So if anyone wants to follow the journey, the links are below. So follow Jared, check him out, because, you know, I'm curious, right? So we're going to have to get back on the show so we could just see where you're at in the next year. But I love that. I love that. So I think the last question I'll ask you, kind of, this is perfect going into the mix-up round, is technology wise, what have you adapted to from when you first got in to now that you've seen success from?
I've definitely seen success always from stories, from Instagram, from, you know, really showing like the fact that you can do a lot and reach a lot. And again, where you don't really see or understand how many people are actually watching you or following you. Because like, I just got a text yesterday from one of my good friends. She's been on TV and doing a whole bunch of things, but she's like, hey, Jared, you know, can you sell my house? And I was like, yes, but like, let me actually give you a listing presentation. Let me do this and not just be like, because, there's friends that do that and friends don't always work out, but I'm very good at what I do. So, but I want to show her that, and I want to say, hey, so definitely, always, don't be a secret agent. Show everybody what you're doing, have fun with it, even if it's little things, and analysis paralysis will kill you too. Just put it out there. Who cares?
Cheers.
Yep.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. I don't drink.
Yes.
I love that. I love that you said, right before I get to you, Dan, I just love that you said like stories. You didn't say like smartphone. You didn't say Instagram. You said straight stories. My mind went Instagram, and I love it because you could swipe up and be like, oh, so who's stalking me now? So
yes.
I'm gonna go.
and another thing too, it's something like the other, I really complimented Matt Davies. He's a huge San Diego guy too. And, but he posted something, and it was just something funny about a comment that they left when they closed a property and somebody was mad. And it was just funny. But I was like, oh shit, I gotta, I gotta find him. And then I called him up and I was like, hey man, I got this property over here. But it was only because he posted this ridiculous thing. But staying top of mind is huge.
Dude, I love it. People forget what you said. People forget what you did, but they won't forget the way you made them feel, man. I love that. So change up the camera angle. Dan, go ahead and take it away for our mix-up round.
Thanks. Well, I know most of your business comes from your sphere. You've shared that, but I think where do you see the evolution of what you adapt into in terms of tech? Maybe new things you're trying, maybe a new CRM. Like what's on your tool belt for 2022?
So definitely one thing that I needed to do, and I still need to work on, is definitely my CRM. So I'm using KV Core now. And I don't really have a preference. I just need to focus on really organizing my database, because I do have a lot, and it's just a lot of like sporadic, like here and there. And I'm really banking on a lot of people just remembering me and me not remembering them. And, and it's like, there's so many people that'll reach out and do that. And I really see the benefit of having a CRM. And so utilizing that, bringing that into my experience every day, and checking that and making sure that I'm doing this. Because right now, like, for example, I opened up escrow on a 2.3 with 7-day contingencies in Santa Monica. That's an hour and a half away from me. And then also the same clients are opening up a 2.3 in Pacific Beach with 7-day contingencies. Wow. And then I have my whole other business on top of this. And so like being able to organize all of that, like right now, my primary focus is these guys. But, I still have other clients. I still have other things that I need to maintain and also, organize. So definitely the CRM is huge for me.
I think that's the kind of like to kind of curtail to what you said, is that a lot of the perception from the general public that is not a real estate agent, regardless if they don't like agents or not, is that, they just do a deal and there's not a lot of steps and there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah.
But to keep your transactions going and your operational sequence going, which involves technology and organization and spreadsheets and workflow, but also to keep your escrow and paperwork on top, but then also run a business and prospect for more business while you're doing that is why we get paid, because the overhead is so large in terms of all the tools and things we have to use. So is there anything that you're using to increase efficiency as you've gone solo, or hire, outsource to kind of help the business grow?
So I have not yet. And one thing that I'm looking for is most likely, I feel that an assistant will be in my future. And I feel that, honestly, I don't really know. I don't know what's next for me as far as that goes. I know that marketing, I use Canva as well. So I'm going to be doing marketing more of my sales as well, as far as that goes, because I've definitely not done the best job as far as posting and things like that. So when people definitely look at your stories and the people that know you, but it's more so like I had a referral from the Bay Area come in, and I saw that the lender who referred the clients to me sent my Facebook business profile, and it was nothing. You know, I was just like, I don't know why you sent that. But, you know, so really having something like that and maintaining that business profile on Google and making sure that I'm searchable and making sure that I have reviews and things like that going is going to really help drive my business and help scale it as well.
Yeah, there's a fine balance, I think, to what platform you go deep on, right? And I think we get a lot of, you know, coaches and people say like, don't post your just this is just solds. And then I'm like, yeah, but you got a Instagram wall of you partying and having a great time and no one knows you're doing transactions.
Right.
So,
yeah,
absolutely.
There's a balance.
And I feel like, and one thing too, and I'll touch on, is that when I got off the team as well, because it was like the whole time I was on the team, I very, very well, like in gratitude for that team, for everything that I grew and learned. But it was more so like, I just didn't feel like I was Jared. And then, so it was like, I had this team associated with me, and then I like wasn't conforming to that. So then now I'm able to like really step into my own and feel that empowerment from it. And then now I'm more proud to say, okay, I did this. This is something I did. And now, so I will definitely be doing that more because I just have more of a sense of pride and ownership in that.
Yeah, I think I always try to align that with teams are a great place to start your career. Teams may be a great place to end your career. Team may be your only place you stay your entire career. But some people graduate from the team structure. And they want to build their own brand identity. They want to build their own brokerage eventually. They want to be able to, and no one should limit that path. I think, I know this is about tech, but that path to where you want to go with that needs to be 100% what you want to do with that. And I think a lot of people don't understand that in business.
And right. And I agree with that too. And I feel like that definitely fits into tech as well, because it was like, I didn't use the CRM, and that's where, you know, because it was like, we switched when we got, like when I first started, and then we were on this one, then we switched, and I was like, nope, I'm literally done. For like a year, I didn't touch that thing. And I'm like, good God. And my emails, I got like 33,000 emails. And now I'm like, oh God. But yeah, so having that, you know, and it's like, now I have a zero inbox, and now it's all coming together. So tech is definitely a huge part of having that. I would say the CRM for sure, and like Canva for marketing for sure, Instagram, Facebook for stories, 100%.
And my last question really is, before I hand it over to Norman, is what would be the best advice for a newer agent that's just starting, who maybe doesn't have a sphere, maybe doesn't have a team, that you think would benefit their career as they try to launch?
I would say marketing yourself and going and finding the people that you want to be around, and like, exactly, like finding your tribe. But also, like, there is plenty of markets where people are like, I can't think of a true example right now, but it's just like, you can insert yourself into any situation. You can be the go-to guy, like, because you, as a realtor, you have access to contractors, to painters, to tile guys, to this, that, and the other thing, to roofers. And so you're able to, and those people all have their own tribe, and then being able to kind of associate yourself with that and providing value wherever you go is really going to add and allow people to keep you as top of mind. And definitely organizing, because everybody has a sphere in some way, shape, or form. There's no way that you don't. And so really just being able to ask those questions. Don't be that secret agent, you know, be like, hey, I call my friend Sasha, I annoy the hell out of her. I'm like, let me sell your house. And because I just like her house a lot, and she has been there forever, and she doesn't want to sell. But and then I'll also call her and I'll be like, hey, one of your friends has to know somebody. I have this 1 bedroom, 1 bath that's off market. The guy doesn't want to keep it on the market. Or tell me one of your friends that has a house that they want to sell. And then, you know, just always ask those questions, and don't be afraid, because you're the only one getting in your way.
Yep. No, totally. Well, thanks for the mix-up round. Back to
Thank you.
Wow, I absolutely love it. That was great. Thanks, Dan. And just to kind of unpack it, was just simple to the point. You know, you're cleaning up finally, getting into the CRM, making that happen.
Yeah, it feels good.
Anyone listening, CRM is just customer relationship management tool. And instead of having everything up here in your head, you can just like put it on not paper, but a digital form of paper to just get it out and just, all right, what was the last conversation? What did I do? Whatever else. I think the biggest thing with CRM system is just like email marketing, birthdays, happy birthday, happy anniversary, you know, thinking about you, you know, holidays, whatever. Because it sounds like from your perspective, Jared, you're just kind of like, you're almost like this free spirited type of guy who's out there having fun doing what you're doing, which I think social media for viewers and listeners out there is great for free spirited individuals that just do, because then it's coming and you're like, well, it's coming. And so, you know, but don't even think about it. Let's just keep going in that direction because it's working. And why reinvent the world? Something is just working. So that's awesome. I love that you're doing that for sure. And I love the fact that you're saying like, just get out of your own way.
Okay? Yeah. Yep.
Just do it. Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
So as far as like, you know, moving forward with your business and thinking about kind of like carving yourself out, like say, for instance, you'll know, like there's some agents that are like, I want to be the number one agent in my market. So when you think San Diego, you think me. Is there something that you want to do for yourself or a niche or a demographic, or, you know, do you want to do more with farming? Like what's your thought processes around that for viewers and listeners out there?
I mean, I think that question, especially for somebody who is as green per se as I am, like there's always something that I can learn. There's always something that somebody will always know something more than you do. And I feel like when you're a newer agent, I think you just need to allow yourself just to do anything and everything and allow that to come organically, because I don't necessarily have a plan for that. I don't want to limit myself to that either. And, you know, I've talked to Seth O'Byrne, you know, he's a great guy, great friend of mine and great mentor as well. And I asked him if he would do it all over again, what would he do? And he told me, you know, he's like, keep your sphere an inch wide and a mile deep. And, you know, so you don't have to just focus on just one area or just do anything, but be that guy that has all these people that are ranting and raving about you. Because that's like, I have one person, one listing that I can literally trace back 15 sales to one.
Wow.
And it's not even, it's trickled down from doing a great job, doing like, I jumped a fence to talk to this guy because I liked his car. And then he ended up leaving his realtor for me. And then, you know, and then ever since then, I sold his brother a house. I sold his best friend a house. I sold him a house. I'm buying him another house. And then the realtor that sold the house to me for him actually was a 30-year veteran realtor. And then because of the job that I did, he gave me 10 listings of his just to sell, just because he liked me and wanted to see me succeed. Wow. And so what you do is literally just work hard, focus on yourself, and just do the best job you could possibly do. And don't put yourself in a bubble, because then you're going to not allow yourself that's something that's right here outside of your bubble and right here that's going to make you a whole bunch of money. And then one thing that's just going to do so many great things for you. So I just want to be able to maintain my sporadicness in the best way, the controlled chaos that real estate is. And yeah, just keep going and moving and grooving.
Wow. I love that. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't forget you if you jumped a fence just to say like,
he did
start that conversation.
He still talks about it. Now I sold them. I actually have his blueprints to that house on my living room wall. And but it was my first sale. It was Bitcoin. I was the first one to ever sell Bitcoin collateralized mortgage loan.
Wow.
And then so now he's also buying a $3 million penthouse from me. So it's pretty cool. Just jumping one fence and telling this guy that his car's cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. What kind of car?
Yeah, what kind of car?
It was just a nice Porsche Spider. Nothing special, like 70 grand, you know, it was cool. And he looked like he had swim trunks on and a beard. He looked like a wizard, you know, like he definitely didn't look like a stereotypical rich guy, but he's very, very wealthy, knows very much business savvy. I talked to him a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. I love the terminology that you use too. It's like, keep your spear like an inch from you. So like keep them close and catch up. How are you doing? Everything else, but a mile wide. And I love the fact, or a mile deep. And I love the fact that you go deeper with your clients, because then you build that personal connection, and people forget what you said and did. But then when you go deeper with them and you touch them on an emotional level, then it's just like a whole different ball game. And then it's like, how's your friends? How's your family going to the weddings, doing this, doing that? So that's super cool. I love that. You're one of the few guests that we've had that's just so free and just like, because there's some that are systems, and you got to do things a certain way, and whatever works for you works.
Right.
I just feel like for you, you're just so much more just kind of like, all right, I was just going to the store and pick up a listing.
I think the biggest thing is that success can take as many different paths as, it doesn't have to be one way or the other, right? I think it's, and your vision on how you want to be successful doesn't have to be stereotypical.
Right.
And I think that's why you're doing it on your own. That's why you're an entrepreneur, and that's why you'll be successful.
Yes.
Yeah. And you could tell too, because I think that some people like yourself that are with a brokerage, and like you said, you felt like you couldn't be your true authentic self there, like are destined to just go on their own because they're leaders. Like you're a leader, obviously. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter also like how many transactions you're going to get in the next, like, well, I guess it does. You say you want to do, double, so fine, 50 plus.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you get there. You just know you're going to get there. Yeah. That's I guess that was my point, which is super cool, because I think that like people get so caught up in like, how am I going to do it? Okay, let's call Zillow. Let's go pay for these leads. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And you'll spin your wheels trying so hard to do things to like quantify you getting there, outside of the fact that like, if you just talk to more people and you have a good time doing it, you can pick up listings.
Yes, absolutely. And that's another thing too. Like, I know we got to go here soon too, but it's like my numbers are so skewed too, because another one of my niches is off market. I love an off market deal, and listings love it too, because it's just a very easy way to get in and get a listing, because you're able to tell your clients, hey, let me just bring in a couple buyers. We don't have to have everybody and their mother into the house. We'll get you list price still or on market value. And I could go into that for days and days. But yeah, so a lot of my stuff is just off market too. And I sold 4 listings off market this year so far.
Wow. And I'm sure then you have keeping your spear close to you. I'm sure they're just like waiting for your call for the next potential deal that you have that's off market, because there's no inventory.
Yes. And I have created a reputation for myself for that exact thing. People call me all the time for it. I have one that's coming up like that I sold last year to my Navy buddy. And I sold another one to my Navy, or from my Navy buddy this year too. And it's out there. People are hungry, and people will pay that list price too. And they will pay more, even if it is off market, because it's just that sense that they don't have to compete. Yep. And that's it's a very good way. And so your numbers don't go on there. Who gives a rip? I'm not going to get rookie of the year for San Diego MLS. Who cares?
Your bank account will.
S-star who? Yes.
I think that's so cliche though. Honestly, like top 1%, look at me, top producer. These agents out there, no disrespect to anyone who's listening.
No, not at all.
They just they put down their marketing. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, even I asked my wife, I was like, do you know what that means? And it says top 1% Silicon Valley. Like, no, I have no idea. Like, like into what? Like top 1%. What? It's just like, all right, whatever. But man, Jared, this was amazing. So we're going to switch it up, camera angle again, just on you, closing out the show. What do you want our viewers and listeners to take from today's episode?
Definitely be yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want, and don't have a scarcity mindset at all, ever. That was one thing I learned really quickly on, is that if you come from a place of scarcity and you're like, oh my God, this deal is going to fall apart, that my life sucks, everything is horrible, it's going to work out, or it's not, regardless. So if you feel that the deal is not happening, or if something's happening, let it flow, let it go, and move on. And so stay centered, never force something, and work hard, be nice to people. That's all you have to do to be successful.
Wow. I love that, man. I love that. And just for viewers and listeners out there to identify when something's not flowing, You can feel it in your gut. It just doesn't feel right. You're like, why am I thinking this for? I just
canceled the $1.4 million escrow that I'm representing listing site on. And I told my clients, I'm like, this is the best thing that has ever happened to us. We're going to get more money. We're going to be able to do this. We know all these things. The buyer couldn't perform. The buyer should have performed and they had the means to, but you know what? At the end of the day, it just wasn't for us. And it's going to be a great scenario afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool to have that confidence too, because I know so many people listening will probably have the opposite and then go into scarcity mindset and think all the things of why and yada, yada, yada. But man, Jared, thank you so much for being on today's episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. This was a pleasure, man.
Yes. Thank you. I love it. I can't, man, this is my first podcast I've ever done. So very, very excited. Yes.
Awesome. Dan, thanks as always for co-hosting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you guys.
And thanks to all our viewers and listeners, as it is our intention for you to take things from our episode, apply to your business, and more massive success. Comment below with what you learned now, and we'll see you next week on the next one.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you for watching Real Estate vs. Technology, this week's brand new episode, and making it to the end, your real one. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for new episodes that come out every single week on Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you comment on this episode and you like the episode, you'll help this episode get out to more individuals. And if you want to join our Facebook group page, just click a link. It's a Facebook icon on our profile page here on our YouTube channel. Join our group page, network with individuals all across the world, and share what technology you're using to grow your business. The next link is to join our Real Estate vs. Technology brand new IG or Instagram page. If you go on any of our stories, you can see who's going to be on Real Estate vs. Technology before it actually goes live on our YouTube channel. And the last link would be if you want to be on an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. You pick a date and a time. We'll deep dive into your story and technology you're using to share that with other individuals that view our episodes weekly to inspire, enlighten, show up, and show out for people that love to watch these type of podcasts to have more success in their own business. Thank you so much for your continued support. We appreciate it. We will see you on the next one.